And I kind of thought to myself, why do I do this? What's the freaking point? What's going on YouTube? It is Chris from Out West with Chris. Today, I'm not doing an unboxing, I'm not doing a gear review, having a little conversation with y'all. This conversation is going to be kind of directed at the entire YouTube community. Subscribers of mine, people who found this via search, people who have their own channels, and kind of specifically content creators, big, small, just starting out, wherever you guys are at. I want to kind of talk about a little aha moment I had recently regarding YouTube. Before we get too far into this, I really want this to be a conversation, okay? So down in the comment section below, whether you are a content creator, a huge channel, somebody who's thinking about jumping in, or a viewer of YouTube, I'm really interested in your thoughts on this. And if you're a content creator specifically, I want to know why you started your channel and what keeps you going. You can do that in the comment section. If you want to do a VR, go for it. I've never done a VR video or anything like that, but if you want to, I'm interested because I was at a little crossroads in my YouTube life that I didn't tell anybody about, and I kind of want to talk about it. If you're a person who takes in any YouTube, in any quantity, you've undoubtedly heard content creators bitching and moaning recently about all sorts of stuff, whether it's the search algorithm, whether it's the view algorithm, whether it's the next video algorithm, or the amazing new feature on YouTube, the not suitable for all advertisers thingamabobber, or demonetization, or, you know, taking down of channels altogether. People have been talking about this a lot lately, and a lot of content creators have been frustrated. Some of them so much so that they've switched over to like VidMe, which I am actually mirroring uploads on VidMe. So if you're on VidMe, look me up, whatever. But yeah, everybody's been bitching about it. Some are threatening to start charging companies to do reviews because they're not making enough money on their ad revenue. Some channels have just altogether disappeared, and not taken down, but people have just kind of given up on them. And most of those are the smaller channels that just have realized it's a lot of work and it's frustrating sometimes. So me personally, all of that stuff was kind of eating at me. You know, I had some issues with the demonetization or partial monetization of videos that it just didn't make any sense. I didn't get on social media and bitch and complain about it. I'm not really doing this video. Really, I'm not doing this video to bitch and complain about it. I'm just kind of explaining where I was at for context purposes of this discussion. I have kind of talked about some of my frustrations with other content creators, texting friends of mine that have channels, or you know, just hanging out with them and talking about it, and they're frustrated too, rightfully so. I think YouTube has changed. It's not what it was 6 months ago. It's not what it was a year ago. Things are harder for smaller channels, and I think some of the big channels too, things are harder for them. You know, there's a particular video I uploaded a few weeks ago. I uploaded this video. It took me a long time to edit, and I uploaded it and it didn't get hardly any traction. It wasn't really being fed or delivered to my subscribers, or my subscribers weren't interested in watching it. Something happened. It wasn't getting found in search. I thought I did everything right with titles, title, keywords and descriptions, and, you know, search tags, and, you know, all of that stuff that goes along with being a YouTube creator. And I kind of thought to myself, why do I do this? What's the freaking point? You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna spend a ton of time on this video and I'm gonna make 20 cents off of it. Why do I do this? What's the point? That was my thought. And over the next week or so, and even up until a few days ago, you know, personally, I was kind of thinking about that. What's the freaking point? Why do I do this? It chews up a lot of my time. It was becoming more like a job, and a job that didn't pay very well. A job that, in all honesty, I pay to do in many aspects. So I was like, okay, why am I still making videos? And it kind of got me thinking, why did I start in the first place? Why did I create a channel? What inspired me to click that upload button for the first time? I started YouTube kind of on a whim. As a lot of you guys know, I was raised in a outdoorsman environment. Hunting, fishing, camping, you know, all of those things were a big part of my life. I was fairly active in the Boy Scouts of America. I spent a lot of time outside. I would carry a shotgun with me to school, and after school I would stop on the way home, pheasant, quail hunt. In college I frequently would disappear up into the mountains in, you know, a float tube with a fly rod and fish for trout in high mountain lakes. And camping and hiking and all that stuff was all just part of my lifestyle. In my mid-20s, that kind of went away. I started a family, started careers, moved, and kind of got caught up in the rigmarole of commuting to work, working, commuting home, you know, family stuff, and stopped making time to go out fishing, stopped making time to go to my annual elk camp. My dad and my uncle and my cousins were still going, but I didn't really prioritize that. And some of that had to do with just starting a family and being poor, you know what I mean? Not having a lot of extra money. Some of it was, you know, just the lifestyle I was living. It just wasn't rooted in the outdoors. And as a lot of you guys know, I am divorced. I'm a divorced dad of 2 kids. I have them a lot, not 100%, but about half the time they're with me. I was frustrated with a lot of different stuff that was going on in my life, and I was venting to my dad one day when I was visiting him, just talking about, man, you know, the lifestyle here, it's just so much slower paced. It's nice, you know, I just wish I didn't have to sit in traffic for an hour every day on the way to work and an hour on the way home, and, you know, just kind of bitching about that kind of stuff and other things that were bothering me, stress at work, post-divorce dating, which is a trip. And my dad kind of just looked at me and was like, hey, when's the last time you went camping? I'm like, what's that got to do with anything? And he said, no, seriously, when's the last time you went camping? I think it would be beneficial for you to get out there and spend some time in nature, be alone, not have a ton of distractions, and just have some time to think, you know? When's the last time you went? And I had to think about it, and it had been maybe 10 years. Maybe 10 years. So I came home from that trip and I decided, all right, I'm gonna go camping. I know how to do this, but I don't have any of the gear. I just didn't have any of my camping gear anymore. So I naturally jumped on YouTube and started researching tents and just different camping gear. And I even researched where I could go camping in California. I was clueless on different spots to go. So I used YouTube as my search to figure out where I wanted to go, what tent I wanted to buy, and all that stuff. And one thing that stuck out was the content, the information that was on YouTube was, well, it was informative, but a lot of it was really dry. A lot of it was poorly done, and I thought, man, I could do this myself. This isn't anything too complicated. So I went on that camping trip, started thinking about it, loved it. I mean, absolutely loved that first camping trip back out in nature after 10 years just by myself. Kind of a definitive thing, not huge, but it kind of defined some stuff for me personally. I know that sounds cheesy, but it really did. So I got back, I decided, man, I want to do that again. So I went and did it again, and I got back into that outdoors lifestyle. And it prompted me to, you know, get my family all together and do our first annual family camping trip. And it was a blast. It was great to see my kids out in nature, teaching them little things that I had learned when I was a kid, that my dad and my uncles and my scout leaders taught me. And, you know, that was kind of the start of Out West with Chris. I decided, you know what, I want to encourage other people to get out there, have fun in nature, explore more, and I want to tell them about good tents. I want to tell them about good gear. I want to show them cool places where they can go and camp and, you know, take some of the guesswork out of it if they're just getting back into it. And that was really what Out West with Chris was about. Along the way, it morphed into you know, some other stuff too. Survival, preparedness. You know, I'm a Boy Scout. Be prepared, right? That's part of the Boy Scout motto. Fishing, kayak fishing, just things that I have gotten into, things that I've loved, and they all kind of revolve around the outdoors and being an outdoorsman. And my whole goal for my channel is just to encourage people to get outside and take it all in, you know. Go fishing, go hunting, you know, that type of stuff. And if you're gonna buy gear, hey, this is good gear, hey, stay away from this. You know, along the way, I've made relationships with subscription box companies. Some of them have come and gone. You know, some of them are still around. I've made relationships with some other really cool companies too. And I guess maybe I started taking myself too seriously. I don't know, like, maybe I did. Maybe I started taking myself too seriously and getting too wrapped up in how many subscribers I have and how many views my videos get, and lost sight of the reasons why I started YouTube. And I'll be honest, YouTube is a really cool kind of creative outlet for me. Video editing is something that I have been into since my late teens, early 20s, long time ago, back when people were shooting video on high 8s and digital 8s and stuff like that. I was doing it and I was editing videos, you know, having fun with it. Kind of stopped doing that in my 20s too. So this realization that I had a few days ago was that, you know, maybe I lost track of why I was doing it, why I started it. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, you know. Would I love to get paid full-time by YouTube and other ventures someday? Sure, you know what I mean? That'd be great. Is it likely to happen? I mean, if I'm gonna be totally honest with you, it probably won't, you know what I mean? There are some channels that are big enough to rely solely on their AdSense, but they're few and far between. I gotta get back to the basics and just enjoy making videos again, do it for the right reasons, and I'm gonna stop worrying about how many views my video gets. I'm still gonna try to create, you know, good content, of course, but I think I'm just gonna stop putting pressure on myself to get 10,000 views on a video or anything like that. I'm just gonna do it for me, gonna do it for my subscribers, and I'm gonna focus on the important stuff and not worry about ad revenue and, you know, business partnerships. When those things come, I'm gonna take full advantage of them, don't get me wrong, but they're not gonna be the primary driving factor. The primary driving factor is gonna be, again, me enjoying myself in the outdoors, relaying a message, encouraging other people to get back outside, and just having fun with it. That's it. I mean, I don't know if this video made any sense whatsoever, but I feel better about it. I mean, just talking about it with this camera in front of me, and hopefully you guys in the comment section down below, I'm feeling pretty good about it. I'm happy that I made this video. So corny. So in the comment section down below, I want to hear from viewers. What are things that you look for in a channel? Personally, for me, I look for genuine, authentic people who create interesting content. It doesn't really matter what it is. I don't watch a lot of fishing channels. I watch, you know, some. I have my favorites, but I don't watch a lot of them because they all seem like they're cookie cutter copycats of John B, you know what I mean? And I guess that's the formula for success. He's great at what he does, and so people are trying to mirror that. And it makes sense. But that's not really what I like. I like authentic, not trying to be something you're not, if that makes any sense. So yeah, what do you guys look for in a channel? What are things that draw you into a channel? Teach me, let me know. I'm really interested in that. For you guys who are content creators or thinking about jumping in to the whole YouTube thing, I want to hear from you guys. Why did you start? And I want honest answers, okay? And what keeps you going? I'm interested. And there's some guys I want to hear from. I want to hear from Steve over at Adventure Outdoors. I really am interested in that. He's kind of been a mentor for me. We don't talk often enough, but Steve over at Adventure Outdoors has been a mentor for me. And he just has this no shits given attitude when it comes to YouTube. Like, he'll review a pair of socks if he wants to. You know what I mean? He'll review a pair of underwear if he wants to. You know, and he just does his own thing, and I like that. It's authentic. I want to hear from Marvin over at Great American Survival. I know he kind of was at a point somewhat recently where he thought about stopping. So I'm interested in your take, Marvin. And I want to hear from a lot of different people. I want to know why you guys do what you do and what keeps you doing it. Alright guys, if you like this video, click that thumbs up. I hope I didn't bore everybody out there. If you're new to the channel, I don't do this often. You know, I do a lot of other stuff. Take a look at some of my other videos. You might like them, you might not. If you do like them, hit that subscribe button. I guess that's it. Thanks for getting out west with Chris. Get outside, everybody, and have fun in nature. Go fishing, go hunting, go camping. Get your kids outside with you too. Alright, that's it. That's a big one.